What if the next app you design already knows what your users want before they even do? And no, that's not science fiction anymore. That's the world we're living in now, a new reality for user experience, and it's all being powered by artificial intelligence. According to the AI in UX 2025 report, it's about to change, well, pretty much everything. All right, let's start with a number. $54.93 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a staggering amount of money. But what on earth does a number that big have to do with the icons on your phone or the layout of your favorite website? As it turns out, everything.
Because that's the projected value of the global UX services market by 2032. We're talking a nearly 12-fold explosion from where we are today. And the fuel for this rocket ship? You guessed it, a single, powerful force, artificial intelligence.
So how are we going to unpack all of this? Simple. We'll start with the current AI reality. Then we'll dive into the 5 big ways it's shaking things up. We'll look at the billion-dollar impact, map out a new playbook for designers, and finally, we'll tackle the really tough challenges that lie ahead. All right, first up, where things stand right now with AI. And it's a world of contradictions, really. It's this weird mix, you know? Everyone's jumping on the AI bandwagon, but at the same time, there's this healthy dose of skepticism simmering just under the surface.
And you can really see that skepticism right here. Look at this satisfaction gap. For developers, 82% are happy with their AI tools. But for designers, that number dips to 69%. Now, it's not a massive chasm, but it definitely makes you wonder, why the difference?
Well, it probably comes down to how they're using it. Check this out. Almost 60% of developers are using AI for their core work, like actually generating code. But for designers, it's only about 31% for things like making assets. The AI just hasn't woven its way into the core design process in the same way, at least not yet. And this right here is the heart of the issue. A huge 78% of us agree that AI makes us more efficient. We love the speed, but, and this is a big but, only 32% say they can actually rely on what it spits out. So we're in this weird spot where we're using a tool we don't fully trust. So even with all that skepticism, there's no denying it, AI is changing the game. Which brings us to our next section, the 5 massive revolutions that are completely reshaping the user experience as we know it.
Okay, these are the big 5. Hyper-personalization, making things just for you. Predictive design, where it knows what you need next. Automated workflows, to get rid of the boring stuff. Enhanced research, to get way deeper insights. And multimodal interfaces, changing how we even talk to our devices. Each one of these could be its own explainer, honestly. But let's zoom in on the one that's having the most dramatic impact right now, personalization.
Just think about Netflix for a second. When was the last time you opened it? Did you spend ages scrolling? Or did that perfect show just seem to pop up? Well, for over 80% of us, it's the second one. We aren't finding the content is literally finding us. That is AI-powered personalization at its absolute best. Now look at this number, $1 billion.
That's not some crazy valuation. That's how much Netflix saves every single year, just from keeping customers around with its recommendation engine. This isn't just about finding a movie. It's a billion-dollar business model built on making you feel completely understood.
And that Netflix example is the perfect lead-in to our next topic, the billion-dollar impact. This is where we stop talking about cool features and start talking about connecting AI-driven UX to cold, hard revenue.
200%. I mean, just imagine for a second if you could double your website's conversion rate. That's what we're talking about here. That's the kind of power a well-designed, AI-driven interface can have. It's the difference between someone just browsing and a customer for life.
And this isn't a one-off thing. The trend is crystal clear. Companies that really prioritize design, they see 32% higher revenue growth than their peers. It's proof that good design, powered by smart AI, isn't a cost. It's an investment that pays off big time. Because look, the stakes are just incredibly high. You mess up the user experience and 88% of people are gone forever. A 1-second delay in your page loading, that's a 7% drop in conversions. Gone. But if you get it right, that personalization can boost user loyalty by a whopping 90%. These are the metrics that define success or failure.
Okay, so the stakes are high, the potential is huge. What does this mean for designers? For creators? Well, it means we need a new playbook. And let's be super clear about this. This is about evolution, not replacement.
This is probably the single most important thing to remember from this whole discussion. It is not about AI replacing designers. It's about designers who use AI replacing those who don't. This isn't some far-off future. It's happening right now. AI is a tool, and you have to learn how to use it.
And using that tool means your job is going to change. As AI starts handling the grunt work, the repetitive, pixel-pushing tasks, your value shifts. It moves up from just doing the work to directing the work. You become a strategic leader. You're the one who interprets the data and connects what you're building to the bigger business goals.
So, what skills do you need for this new playbook? Well, here are the core 5 for 2025. Strategic thinking, so you can see the forest for the trees. Data interpretation, to find the real story behind the numbers. AI literacy, so you know what tools to use and why. Ethical design, because this stuff is powerful. And, more than ever, collaboration, not just with people, but with your AI sidekick.
But of course, with great power comes, well, And that brings us to our final section, the critical challenges we have to face. Because as we embrace this tech, we're walking an ethical tightrope, and we can't afford to fall. And it all boils down to this one massive question. Can we really deliver these amazing hyper-personalized experiences without crossing a line? Without sacrificing user privacy, or even worse, building our own biases right into the code? Maybe the answer is to just take a step back. I love this quote. Let's move beyond the sparkles icon. Let's get past the novelty of it all and remember why we started doing this in the first place. The goal isn't just to use AI. The goal is to build things that people actually want and need. And really, that's the bottom line. AI is here. It's the new co-pilot sitting next to every single one of us. The tool is in your hands. So the only real question left is, where are you going to tell it to go?